It feels like, everywhere you turn these days, it's like someone's trying to get ahead.
Yeah.
Whether it's, like a promotion or a hot concert ticket or just the last slice of pizza.
Right.
And, it's kind of adding fuel to this already competitive fire.
Hmm.
AI.
Oh, yeah.
Today, we're diving into how artificial intelligence is making the workplace even more intense.
Hmm.
And you know what that means for you? No matter where you are in your career journey.
Right.
Our source material for this deep dive is issue #80 of the newsletter Synthetic Work,
Okay.
which really digs into the nitty-gritty of AI's impact on,
Yeah.
well, everything.
It really does feel like we're at a tipping point. It's
Exactly.
like AI was supposed to make things easier,
Right.
but it's also creating these new pressures and challenges.
Exactly. Take the job market, for instance.
Okay.
Synthetic Work reports that UK employers are getting slammed with a record number of applications.
Wow.
And AI is playing a big role in this.
So think about it. AI tools are making it ridiculously easy to apply for tons of jobs with just a few clicks.
Oh, yeah.
So naturally, people are sending out applications like it's going out of style.
But here's the catch. Are those applications actually any good?
Right.
When you can apply for hundreds of jobs in an afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
you're probably not taking the time to carefully tailor each application
Yeah.
to this specific role.
And that creates a real headache for employers.
Oh.
I mean, they're drowning in a sea of generic applications,
Ugh.
which makes it harder to find the truly qualified candidates.
Yeah.
It's a classic case of quantity over quality.
And it's not just speculation.
Okay.
Synthetic Work shares this anecdote from the London School of Economics.
Oh, wow.
Students there now have to send out an average of 50 applications
Wow.
to land just one job.
That's a lot.
In the past, it was more like 15 or 20.
That's a huge jump.
Yeah,
And it shows just how fierce the competition has become.
right.
It's almost like AI is creating this self-perpetuating cycle
Yeah.
of more applications and lower quality and ultimately more rejection for job seekers.
So what's driving this AI arms race in the first place?
Right.
Why are investors pouring billions into AI companies?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Synthetic Work pointed out this interesting trend.
Okay.
Anthropic, a big player in the AI game, just happened to start seeking more funding
Uh-huh.
right after its CEO published this super optimistic essay about AI's future.
That does sound familiar.
Yeah.
Remember when Sam Altman did something similar
Yes,
right before OpenAI's massive funding round?
exactly. It makes you wonder if there's a connection.
Yeah.
Are these companies trying to drum up hype and excitement to attract investors?
It's hard to say for sure, but it's worth considering.
Right.
There's obviously a huge amount of potential in AI.
Yeah.
But there are also risks. What happens if we rush headlong into this future
Right.
without fully understanding the consequences?
Yeah.
We're already seeing some of the unintended consequences, like this job application frenzy.
Right. And it's not just about jobs.
Okay.
This AI arms race is also playing out in the relationships between some of the biggest tech companies.
Right.
We can't ignore the drama brewing between OpenAI and Microsoft, for example.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fascinating power dynamic to watch unfold.
Right.
The New York Times recently published an article about the growing friction
Oh.
between these two, and it's pretty juicy.
According to the article, OpenAI is burning through cash at an alarming rate.
Mm-hmm.
To develop these increasingly advanced AI models,
Right.
they need a constant influx of funding to keep the lights on, so to speak.
But their exclusive contract with Microsoft, their main investor,
Right.
was apparently putting a damper on their fundraising efforts.
Oh,
It limited their ability to seek funding from other sources
really?
and even restricted their control over their own computing resources.
So they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. They
Yeah.
need money to develop their tech, but their main investor is holding them back.
And to add fuel to the fire,
Ugh.
Microsoft seems to be hedging their bets in the AI space.
Okay.
They've been bringing in talent from other AI companies, like Inflection AI,
Okay.
and they're using OpenAI software to develop their own consumer-facing AI products.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like they're preparing for a future
Yeah.
where they might not need OpenAI as much anymore.
And you can imagine how that's sitting with the folks at OpenAI.
Right.
Their CEO, Sam Altman, has reportedly expressed some frustration
Yeah.
with Microsoft's moves.
It creates a sense of competition,
Yeah,
almost a feeling of betrayal.
right.
OpenAI might be feeling like their technology, their baby,
Yeah.
is being used to potentially undermine their own future.
It's a high-stakes game of chess.
Definitely.
And it's hard to predict how it will all play out.
Right.
But one thing's for sure. the outcome of this power struggle could have a major impact
Mm-hmm.
on the AI tools that we use every day.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
These companies are shaping the future of AI,
Right.
and their decisions will have ripple effects
Yeah.
throughout the entire ecosystem.
Okay, so we've talked about the AI arms race
Hmm.
and how it's creating all this competition, both for jobs and between tech giants.
Right.
But here's a curveball for you.
Okay.
Even with all the advances in AI, there's one skill that's surprisingly still super relevant in 2024.
Oh, really? What's that?
Prompting.
You would think with all this talk about AI getting smarter and more intuitive,
Right.
we wouldn't need to worry about things like prompting anymore.
You'd think we could just tell the AI what we want and it would magically happen.
Right.
But synthetic work highlighted this conversation happening on X, formerly Twitter,
Okay.
between some really prominent AI experts.
Uh-huh.
And even they're saying that prompting is still absolutely essential in 2024.
It's a good reminder that AI, as sophisticated as it is, still needs guidance.
Right.
It's not some magical mind reader.
Mm-hmm.
We have to
Yeah.
learn how to communicate with it effectively.
So for those of us who might not be fluent in AI speak,
Yeah.
what exactly is prompting?
It's essentially the art of giving instructions to an AI
Okay.
in a way that gets you the best possible results.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just telling it what to do.
Right.
You're guiding it towards the specific outcome you want.
Okay, so it's not just about saying, hey, AI, write me a poem.
Right.
It's about giving it more specific instructions.
Yeah.
Like the style, the theme, the tone, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Think of it like communicating with another human.
Okay.
If you want someone to truly understand what you mean,
Mm-hmm.
you need to provide context.
Yeah.
Be specific with your language
Right.
and consider their perspective.
Okay.
It's the same with AI.
So is it worth investing time in learning how to prompt AI effectively?
Yeah.
Like, is this something that we should all be adding to our resumes?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it really depends on how you plan to use AI in your life or work.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just using it for basic tasks, like summarizing a document or translating a phrase you might not need to become a prompting wizard.
Okay.
But if you're looking to unlock AI's true potential,
Yeah.
especially in creative fields,
Mm-hmm.
or for more complex tasks, learning to prompt effectively can be a game changer.
It's like learning a new language.
Right.
The more fluent you are,
Mm-hmm.
the better you can express yourself
Yeah,
and achieve your goals.
precisely.
Right.
And as AI continues to evolve,
Yeah.
this ability to communicate with it effectively
Mm-hmm.
will become even more valuable.
Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about a topic that's a little more sensitive
Okay.
and might not be suitable for all listeners.
Yeah.
AI in the adult entertainment industry.
It's definitely a controversial topic,
Yeah.
but it highlights some of the broader implications of AI,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to things like identity ownership
Right.
and the evolving landscape of content creation.
Synthetic work brought up this interesting trend. Some adult entertainers are embracing AI to create what they call digital replicas of themselves.
Wow.
They're using their likenesses to create AI-powered chatbots
Uh-huh.
and even generate custom images and videos.
Oh, really?
It's like having a digital twin
Wow.
that can work 24/7.
It's a fascinating example of how AI is disrupting traditional notions of work
Mm-hmm.
and blurring the lines between reality and virtuality.
But here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
While some adult entertainers are jumping on the AI bandwagon,
Mm-hmm.
traditional actors are understandably freaking out about deepfakes.
It's a stark contrast, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it raises some important questions
Right.
about why we're seeing such different responses to the same technology.
Why do you think that is?
Well, one factor might be the level of control.
Okay.
Adult entertainers, in many cases, are independent contractors.
Right.
They see AI as a tool that can empower them,
Mm-hmm.
giving them more control over their content
Yeah.
and potentially increasing their earning potential
Right.
without requiring them to, well, physically do more work.
It's like they're taking control of their own digital identities
Exactly.
and using AI to leverage that.
But for traditional actors
Right.
who often rely on studios and production companies,
Yeah.
the idea of their likeness being used without their consent,
Yeah.
especially in a context like adult entertainment, is a major threat
Mm-hmm.
to their careers and reputations.
It's a reminder that AI doesn't exist in a vacuum.
Right.
It's shaped by the social, economic, and legal structures that surround it.
Absolutely.
And it can be used to both empower and exploit depending on the context.
Absolutely.
And this brings us to another area where AI is raising some serious ethical dilemmas.
Okay.
education,
Yeah?
specifically the use of AI detection tools
Right.
to catch students cheating. Yeah, this is a tough one.
Yeah.
On the one hand, you want to ensure academic integrity
Right.
and make sure students are learning.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, these AI detection tools are notoriously flawed.
And synthetic work highlighted a heartbreaking example
Oh, no.
of just how damaging these tools can be.
Mm-hmm.
They shared the story of Moira Olmsted,
Okay.
a college student who was wrongly flagged
Oh, wow.
by an AI detection tool for supposedly using AI to write her assignments.
Seriously. That's terrifying.
She even received a 0 on one of her papers because the tool claimed it was AI generated.
It's a nightmare scenario for any student.
And it gets worse.
Ugh.
Synthetic work cited research showing that these tools are often biased
Yeah.
against certain groups like non-native English speakers.
Oh.
Their writing styles are more likely to be flagged as AI generated,
Right.
even when they're completely human written.
It's incredibly unfair.
Yeah.
And shows how these tools can perpetuate existing inequalities in education.
Definitely.
Students are already stressed enough about grades and deadlines. Now they have to worry about being falsely accused of cheating
Yeah.
by a flawed algorithm.
It's a stark reminder that we need to be incredibly careful about how we use AI, especially in sensitive contexts like education.
Right.
These tools have the potential to do real harm
Yeah.
if we're not mindful of their limitations and biases.
We can't blindly trust these technologies.
Definitely not.
We need to be critical, ask questions, and demand transparency
Right.
from the companies that are developing and deploying them.
Absolutely.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah, we have.
From the AI-fueled job application frenzy
Mm,
to the ethical quandaries of AI detection tools in education
right.
and the complexities of AI in the adult entertainment industry.
It's clear that AI is a powerful force that's reshaping the world around us.
Absolutely.
But it's also creating new challenges
Yeah,
and ethical dilemmas that we need to address head on.
absolutely. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
let's talk about how AI is shaking up another major industry,
Okay.
publishing.
The publishing world is grappling with some fundamental questions about authorship, copyright, and the very nature of creativity in the age of AI.
Right. Synthetic Work highlighted a bold move by Penguin Random House.
Right?
They've basically banned the use of their books for AI training.
Wow.
They've added a clause to their copyright notices
Uh-huh.
that explicitly prohibits scraping their content for this purpose.
It's a strong stance,
Right.
but it also raises questions about its effectiveness.
Right.
Is it a realistic attempt to protect their intellectual property?
Yeah.
Or is it more of a symbolic gesture
Right.
in the face of an unstoppable technological wave?
It's almost like they're trying to hold back the tide.
Right.
But it's interesting to see how different publishers are responding to this challenge.
Yeah.
Some are embracing AI, exploring its potential for content creation and marketing,
Mhm.
while others are fiercely resisting it.
And then there's the legal aspect to consider.
Yeah.
The laws surrounding AI and copyright are still evolving,
Right.
which creates a lot of uncertainty.
Synthetic Work brought up this mind-boggling point.
What's that?
Soon, it might be impossible to tell if a book was scraped by AI.
Oh, wow.
Because the original manuscript itself might have already been influenced by AI.
It's a fascinating and somewhat unsettling thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
As AI becomes more integrated into the writing process,
Right.
the lines between human and machine authorship
Mm-hmm.
become increasingly blurred.
And that raises all sorts of questions about what it means to be an author and how we value creativity in the future.
Absolutely. If an AI can write a best-selling novel,
Yeah.
that's indistinguishable from something written by a human.
Right.
Does it diminish the value of human authorship?
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
And it's one that we don't have a clear answer to yet,
Right.
but it's something we need to be thinking about,
Right.
especially as AI continues to advance.
We need to have open and honest conversations
Mhm.
about the role of AI in our society.
Yeah.
And we need to develop frameworks and guidelines
Right.
that ensure it's used ethically and responsibly.
It's not about fearing AI or trying to stop its progress. It's about understanding its potential and its limitations
Yeah,
and shaping its development in a way that benefits humanity as a whole.
absolutely. And it's about empowering individuals to be informed
Right.
and critical participants in this technological revolution.
Yeah.
We need to equip ourselves with the knowledge and skills to navigate this new landscape
Mm-hmm.
and make informed decisions about how we interact with AI.
Okay, so we've talked about how AI is impacting the workplace,
Yeah.
education, and the publishing industry.
Right.
But its influence extends far beyond these areas.
Absolutely.
It's transforming healthcare, finance, transportation, and countless other industries.
And it's not just about industries.
Right.
AI is also having a profound impact on our personal lives.
Yeah.
The way we communicate, the way we consume information, even the way we think about ourselves.
It's truly a transformative technology.
It is.
And it's only going to become more integrated into our lives in the years to come.
Which is why it's so important to have these conversations,
Mm-hmm.
to explore the potential benefits and the potential risks of AI,
Right.
and to work together to shape its development in a way
Yeah.
that aligns with our values and aspirations.
So what does all of this mean for you, the listener? Right. How can you prepare for this AI-powered future?
One of the most important things you can do is stay informed.
Mm-hmm.
Read articles, listen to podcasts like this one,
Yes.
engage in conversations about AI,
Right.
and make an effort to understand how it works
Yeah.
and how it's being used in different contexts.
Don't be afraid to ask questions, to challenge assumptions, and think critically
Right.
about the information you encounter.
Remember, AI is a tool.
Mm-hmm.
It can be used for good or for bad.
Yeah.
It's up to us as individuals and as a society
Right.
to decide how we want to shape its future.
That's a powerful message.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect note to end on.
Right?
But before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a final thought-provoking question to ponder.
All right. Welcome back. Before the break, we were discussing how AI is impacting the publishing industry. It's like we're entering this new era
Yeah.
where the very definition of authorship is being challenged.
Right. And this uncertainty isn't just limited to publishing.
Right.
It's seeping into all aspects of our lives,
Yeah.
even education.
Oh, why?
Synthetic Work mentioned this incident in Australia
Okay.
that really highlights the growing distrust and confusion
Yeah.
surrounding AI-generated content.
You're talking about those high school students
Yeah.
who questioned whether an image in their English exam was actually a photograph
Yes.
or something created by AI.
Yeah, exactly. It caused quite a stir
Right.
because the exam had strict rules against students using AI,
Uh-huh.
yet they were potentially being assessed on their ability to analyze an image
Right.
that might have been AI generated in the first place.
It does seem a bit ironic, doesn't it?
Right?
The educational system is sending mixed messages.
Yeah.
On one hand, they're cracking down on AI used by students,
Right.
but on the other hand, they might be incorporating AI-generated content
Yeah.
into their own materials.
Some students argued that if the image was AI generated,
Mm-hmm.
it should have been clearly labeled as such.
Okay.
That way they could take that into account when analyzing it.
Right.
Others felt that using an AI-generated image was unfair,
Yeah.
regardless of whether it was labeled or not.
It's a valid concern.
Yeah.
How can students be expected to develop critical thinking skills if they're not even sure what's real and what's fabricated?
Exactly.
This incident exposes a bigger issue,
Yeah.
the lack of transparency around AI-generated content.
It feels like we're being bombarded with AI-generated images, text and videos, and it's becoming increasingly difficult
Right.
to distinguish them from human-created content.
And that raises all sorts of questions.
Yeah.
How do we evaluate information when we can't be sure of its source? How do we know what to trust?
Yeah.
It's like we need a whole new set of skills
Right.
to navigate this AI-saturated world.
It's almost like we need to develop a new kind of literacy, an AI literacy, so to speak.
Yeah.
We need to be able to identify AI-generated content,
Right.
understand its limitations,
Mm-hmm.
and critically assess its impact on our lives.
I think you're onto something there.
Yeah.
We need to be more discerning consumers of information
Right.
and more thoughtful participants in this AI revolution. We can't just passively accept everything we see and hear.
Right.
We need to ask questions, challenge assumptions, and demand transparency.
So circling back to what we were discussing earlier about the
Probably.
publishing industry and their pushback against AI,
Yeah.
how does this lack of transparency affect them? What are some of the specific challenges they're facing?
Well, for starters, there's the issue of copyright.
Okay.
If an AI scrapes a massive data set of books to learn how to write, who owns the copyright to the AI-generated text?
Yeah.
Is it the AI developer, The authors whose works were scraped?
Right?
Or is it something entirely new?
That's a tricky one.
Yeah.
And it gets even more complicated
Right.
when you consider that the original manuscripts themselves might have already been influenced by AI.
Right.
As AI writing tools become more sophisticated,
Mm-hmm.
it will become increasingly difficult to determine
Right.
where human creativity ends and AI assistance begins.
Exactly. It's a legal and philosophical quagmire.
Yeah.
And it's not just about copyright.
Okay.
There's also the question of authenticity
Right.
and the value we place on human creativity.
Mm-hmm.
If an AI can write a best-selling novel
Right.
that's indistinguishable from something written by a human,
Yeah.
does it diminish the value of human authorship?
That's a tough question.
No, it is.
And it's one that we don't have a clear answer to yet.
Right.
But it's something we need to be thinking about,
Definitely.
especially as AI continues to advance.
We need to have open and honest conversations about the role of AI in our society.
Yeah, right.
And we need to develop frameworks and guidelines that ensure it's used ethically and responsibly.
It's not about fearing AI or trying to stop its progress. It's about understanding its potential and its limitations.
Yeah.
And shaping its development in a way that benefits humanity as a whole.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's about empowering individuals to be informed.
Right.
And critical participants in this technological revolution.
Yeah.
We need to equip ourselves with the knowledge and skills to navigate this new landscape and make informed decisions about how we interact with AI.
Okay, so we've talked about how AI is impacting the workplace,
Yeah.
education, and the publishing industry.
Right.
But its influence extends far beyond these areas.
Absolutely.
It's transforming healthcare finance, transportation,
Yeah.
and countless other industries.
And it's not just about industries.
Right.
AI is also having a profound impact on our personal lives. The way we communicate, the way we consume information, even the way we think about ourselves.
It's truly a transformative technology.
It is.
And it's only going to become more integrated into our lives in the years to come.
Which is why it's so important to have these conversations, to explore the potential benefits and the potential risks of AI.
Right.
And to work together to shape its development in a way that aligns with our values and aspirations.
So what does all of this mean for you, the listener?
Right.
How can you prepare for this AI-powered future?
One of the most important things you can do is stay informed.
Right.
Read articles.
Right.
Listen to podcasts like this one.
Yes.
Engage in conversations about AI.
Right.
And make an effort to understand how it works.
Yeah.
And how it's being used in different contexts.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. You challenge assumptions. And think critically about the information you encounter.
Remember, AI is a tool.
Right.
It can be used for good or for bad.
Yeah.
It's up to us as individuals and as a society to decide how we want to shape its future.
That's a powerful message.
It is.
And it's a perfect note to end on.
Right.
But before we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I want to leave you with a final thought-provoking question to ponder. If AI can write a novel, compose a symphony, and even diagnose diseases, what does it mean to be creative or skilled in the future? Will our definition of these qualities, need to evolve as AI takes on more and more tasks that were once considered uniquely human?
That's a really profound question, and it's one that I think, will be debated for years to come.
Right.
It challenges us to reconsider what it means to be human in a world where machines are becoming increasingly capable.
Right. And it's not just about philosophical pondering.
Right.
It has real implications for education, for the job market, for our sense of purpose and identity. If AI can automate so many tasks, what will be left for humans to do? What will be the source of our value and fulfillment?
It's not necessarily about finding new things for humans to do.
Okay.
But rather about redefining what we value and how we measure success.
Right.
Perhaps it's less about specific skills and more about uniquely human qualities.
Okay.
Like empathy, critical thinking, creativity,
Yeah.
and the ability to connect with others on a deep level.
Those are all incredibly important qualities.
Yeah.
And they're things that AI, at least in its current form, can't really replicate.
Yeah.
Maybe the future of work isn't about competing with AI, but rather about finding ways to collaborate with it, to leverage its strengths while embracing our own.
I think that's a really optimistic and empowering perspective.
Yeah.
Instead of viewing AI as a threat,
Right.
we can choose to see it as an opportunity to augment our own abilities,
Hmm.
to free us from tedious tasks,
Yeah.
and to unlock new possibilities that we might not have even imagined before.
It's like using a power tool to build something amazing.
Right.
The tool itself doesn't have the vision or the creativity. Yeah.
But it can help us bring our ideas to life in ways that wouldn't have been possible otherwise.
Exactly. And as AI continues to evolve,
Right.
it's essential that we're actively involved in shaping its development, ensuring that it's aligned with our values and goals as a society.
Yeah.
We need to be asking ourselves not just what can AI do,
Right.
but also what should AI do?
It's about taking responsibility for the future we're creating.
Yeah.
And that involves making conscious choices about how we develop and deploy this incredibly powerful technology.
And it's about recognizing that AI is not some distant, abstract force. It's something that's already deeply intertwined with our lives.
Right.
And it's only going to become more so in the future.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of AI and its impact on the workplace and beyond,
Right?
I hope you're feeling informed, inspired, and maybe even a little bit challenged.
We've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah, we have.
From the competitive pressures of the AI job market to the ethical considerations of AI detection tools. Right.
And the philosophical questions surrounding authorship and creativity in the age of AI.
It's a lot to process.
It is.
But it's vital that we engage in these conversations
Yeah.
and think critically about the role of AI in our lives.
Remember, the future of AI is not predetermined.
Right.
It's something that we're actively creating
Yeah.
through our choices and actions. So stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged.
And keep asking those big questions.
Right.
What does it mean to be human in an AI-powered world?
Yeah.
What kind of future do we want to build?
These are questions that we'll continue to grapple with as AI continues to evolve.
Right.
But they're questions worth asking. And they're questions that we all have a stake in answering.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI.
It was a pleasure being here.
We'll be back next time with another fascinating topic, so be sure to subscribe and stay tuned.